This is a Socialist News and Views special interview.
I'm Nick Schillingford, coming to you from the Urban Cabin Studios in South Minneapolis with this special interview. So on Socialist News and Views, we let folks introduce themselves. Do you want to just both tell our audience quick about yourselves?
You got it, Anthony.
Anthony's going first.
All right. Sure, you got it. So I'm Anthony DePice. I am from Philly. I'm an activist. I'm with a group called Warehouse Worker Resource Center. We help organize Amazon workers in Southern California. I don't know. I am part of a lot of different movements, and I'm just grateful to be here with y'all.
Thank you. Lavish? Well, I'll give a Lavish. Can you hear me?
Sorry about that. My AirPods just disconnected. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Technological.
It was only like 1
Bro,
second.
I did not know your name was DePice. I've been saying DePice.
No, that's cool. That's the.
I had the same thing, like, I don't know, a couple times ago when I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That sounds, yeah. I think I said it like different ways in my head every time. I was like, huh.
It's not a big deal, yeah.
So.
Word. Okay. My name's Lavish. I'm from Minneapolis. Grew up a couple blocks away from where George Floyd was taken from the world. Activist. Not as much of an organizer anymore, but definitely got my start just rooted in community. Abolitionist, and try to center our collective liberation. And everything I do, even if it's at like my own expense. I remember my first time being in kindergarten. Kind of just embodying that activism isn't a thing that you do, but it's like a way of existing. So yeah, I'm honored to be here.
Thank you, Lavish. Yeah, I was thinking I kind of wanted to touch on something from you, but then when we got on the call, Anthony was talking about something that happened out there. So I'm gonna just throw it out there. You know, the first I wanted to check in, you know, like kind of see how you're both doing, because we were also talking before, like just about how messed up everything is and how everybody's like not necessarily doing the best mental health wise.
Yeah, for sure.
if not us directly, certainly the people around us are like suffering right now. So
Yeah.
How are y'all doing now? You got anything that you're doing to stay healthy, stay feeling okay?
You want to start, Anthony? Or I can
No, you go for it, brother. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if we're supposed to be fucked up right now.
Right.
If when people are feeling that whatever that grief may be, we're actually allowing ourselves to process. It's part of it. And we have so many distractions where we're able to not process and not feel. But so when we cry in public, like I do every other day, at least, I might see like I can't even like I might see Bisan, I'm crying. Right. So when we're feeling that, I want to have us be mindful that we shouldn't feel guilt. Like, damn, my life is like this, because it's a form of oppression for us to not live empowered lives where we can do the fighting for justice. If we allow ourselves to be guilty that we're feeling, right? We're supposed to fucking feel. It means our spirit, our heart is working, right? So it's just part of it. It's just part of it. And it sucks, but like activism isn't the goal. The goal is to win so that we don't have to be activists, right? But in this space, it's like we're gonna feel. So I feel like I'm particularly good at having like a mindfulness practice. I meditate at least 5 times a week, so minimum every other day, basically. Maybe multiple times a day. Sometimes that can actually mess you up, though. Meditation isn't always recommended. I have like really regimented workout. I got crazy ass ADHD, so the only thing that can kind of center me is like moving the fucking body. I can cuss on here, it's all good.
Yep.
Okay, lit. So yeah, I mean, we got to be able, I don't want to say compartmentalize, but we can't pour from an empty cup. And a lot of times I see activists like burning out crazy. I'm like, bro, you can't fight if you don't eat and live and breathe. Like, you have to be able to sustain. So it's a movement, not a moment. And we got to be aware of that. However that looks for anybody.
I was just gonna I have ADHD too, and yeah, I feel like we're, you know, prone to burnout like even more than like the average person, because we're just like wanting to like do everything kind of, or wanting to like know what's going on, and we like our mind is always going kind of thing, and I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, that's a good one. You got some recommendations, or what are you doing to kind of center yourself, Anthony? Anything?
Yeah, I mean, Lavish and I are in the, Swolitariat fam, and yeah, so I share that, and with y'all, I definitely have that ADHD thing, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I agree though with what you said, Lavish, about the emotion, because like, yeah, I just get overcome by it, and I haven't thought of it that way before, about it being like, something to really lean into. I've always been like conditioned to be comfortable with it, and to know that like it's, healthy, but yeah, that's such a good point. That, it's a sign that we're, yeah, dealing with it. And I guess
Yeah,
sometimes internally I realize that, but like, yeah, it's just great to hear you uplift that.
definitely.
So yeah, I don't know, just like, yeah, I mean, I feel like this shit is everything. Like, just being in community. Yeah, well,
Hmm.
I'm addicted, both of y'all know, to connecting in whatever
Yeah.
ways I can. Because I just like, yeah, and I mean, like, I love what you said too about the burnout. Because like, I found my way into this stuff just being present, for folks, like into organizing broadly, because like, I came from a lot of like privilege and a lot of brainwashing, like capitalist bullshit, and so like, I saw that I could bring value to the movement by just being present for folks who were doing the work, who were leading, who were impacted, and I, kind of saw like, oh shit, that there's, value to, um just being present, and supporting. And so like, yeah, I'm always gonna, uplift that kind of thing, I guess, as part of, mental, or, emotional,
Oh, yeah.
well-being. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you said a good part, like leaning into the, I guess we could just call it pain, or
Mm,
processing or grief or
Mm,
whatever, like leaning into that,
mm,
bro. Sometimes when I feel, like,
mm,
allow myself to feel, the best thing can come out of it,
mm,
because we're moved to do the fucking thing. We're
right.
moved. But if we're
mm,
in this state of like, oh, nah, shit's decent, which the West always is, which is why in our activist space, it's not like the global South. It's not like Nepal,
mm,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But if we allow ourselves to feel that shit, whatever that it is, we can be called to doing something that maybe we wouldn't have done before.
mm,
So fuck
And
it.
I think, I mean, there's also this, the helplessness, and like you kind of like can feel
Mm.
paralyzed at times. And so I think asking for help is another one that, I'm working on. I mean, I
Hmm.
do it, but, probably not as soon as or as frequently as I should.
Right.
And so that's something I'm working on, is just, asking people for help, or explaining what it is I can and can't do, or,
Hmm.
setting some boundaries, or setting some time frames for certain things, so I don't get burned
mm,
out, because I also need that like something else like going on, there's also that like something
Yeah.
has to be happening, like something
mm.
not happening, or like waiting for
Yeah.
something can kind of like,
That shit sucks. And
yeah,
then we
like
doom
create this
scroll to try to,
create this weird
yeah.
anxiety of like waiting for something, which makes it's just weird. I don't know.
A lot of times that's our nervous system
Right.
Mm.
up regulated, waiting for the thing. It's like a type of cognitive distortion almost, where we're um fuck, what is the word? Basically, we're searching for something.
Right.
We're trying to find, like, we know around this corner there's a problem,
Right.
which in like relationships might not be the case.
Right.
However, in this oppressive ass system, it is the case. And we're like, where is it?
Mm,
Where is it? Where is it? But when we feel that, and then we simultaneously feel like, yo, I'm I need a chill, but we
mm,
don't, that's when we know we need it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
when
mm.
it's when we don't want to do it is when you need it the most. When you
Yeah.
don't want to
Yeah.
meditate, when you don't want to stretch, when you don't want to fast, when you don't want to
Mhm.
pray or align in a higher consciousness, is when you need to do it the most. And it's like, that's how we get the signal and listen to our body. I'm a yoga instructor, so I'm very in tune with that. And it doesn't mean I listen to it all the time. Probably I don't listen to it more than I do, right?
Sure.
Instead, I get a coffee and I turn it up, but I should wind it down, right? But that is a good point of like asking for help for sure. That we all have like interpersonal ways of doing it. It could be just calling a friend or some shit,
right? And turning it down every once in a while instead of just like, oh, just turn it up even higher.
Doom scrolling, bro. Yeah.
But well, I wanted to get to. I was talking about, we're seeing a lot of terrible things happening like on a daily basis, but we're also like experiencing things in our own lives, both part of the broader stuff, but other things as well. Anthony, you were just talking about a raid in your area, and I know that when I watched, you just put something out a couple days ago, Lavish, but before that, I kind of like keep up with you on Instagram, and the last thing I had seen was about your like interrogation and all this crazy stuff. So I'm like, so this stuff is like really happening. This is not like, this is not some far off future somewhere where something terrible happens. Do either of y'all want to start with who wants?
I got to hear about this Philly shit.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Let's hear what's going on.
I need to hear more about that.
Yeah, so I'm from Philly, but I'm SoCal based these days. So basically, the Day Labor Center, that's a partner of ours, the Pomona Economic Opportunity Center. They have a mobile office that's based in a Home Depot parking lot in so-called Pomona, and it got raided. This morning by ICE, and ICE has been more and more active in that town and in the Inland Empire, which is the region east of Los Angeles, where we're at. Especially since the Supreme Court rejected the temporary restraining order that we'd been, benefiting from at least a bit in terms of the racist raids that are going on, in the region. So there was a lawsuit that was, waged by ACLU and a bunch of other orgs, including ours, so there was a temporary restraining order on the just like, racist raids in terms of like, just going based off folks looking Latinx, being in a Home Depot parking lot and so on. But
bro, it's crazy. It also goes off like the job the person might have, obviously the language. I was researching that. I'm like, yo, this is obviously racist. They're not even trying to hide it, but it's just crazy the lengths of racism to which, like, damn.
Yeah. So
how many people we've got? Has it been confirmed? Like, how many people got abducted, basically?
I don't know that they took folks from that office, but they did. There were, kidnappings this morning, yesterday. We're at like 1,500 or something. It's gone up since then, but since June, in the SoCal region broadly. So yeah, it's fucking brutal. And there's, these are like low income, obviously, BIPOC folks that we're serving, and so they're frontline, it's brutal. So we're doing, all the mutual aid, all the rapid response, all the, organizing that we can defensively and offensively. Yeah.
Damn. Shit is insane, bro.
Yeah, it's like, it's real. I was born outside the US. I'm a US citizen now, but I've been like carrying my passport around with me just so I have it on me, because like the dumbest stuff has been happening, like for the dumbest reasons. And then like,
where were you born?
I was born in the UK.
Oh, word. Okay.
But like, I didn't get citizenship until later on when I was like about to go to college, so I like could actually afford it. And but yeah, actually, last time I took an arrest for something, I had to call Washington D.C. and talk to some guy about it. To be honest, I don't even know who he was, and he said it'll probably be okay, which is the weirdest thing. And then
it was Colin Powell, bro.
I know, right? I don't know. He's like, it'll probably. It was like, oh, it's just it'll probably be okay. And I was like, what do you mean probably be okay? Like, what were you gonna do to me otherwise? Like, I don't know.
It was Mitch McConnell.
It was. He was pissed, and he had his little turtle. He was, it was so weird. Like, but no, you just were experiencing some of this. Well, this wasn't what, July or something, or when was this?
Yeah, July 10th. No, July 11th. Yeah.
You experienced this shit. Like, they should go watch the video, but just quick, what's the
like the rundown of what happened?
What happened
so
to you?
I went to the Global Morris Teresa with thousands of other people.
Right.
And then on my way, I was in Europe for a while. I was doing some coverage for Mint Press
Sure.
around a UN meeting that was in Brussels. And then after that, I was like, yo, I'm in Europe. I got to see Paris and look at some shit while I'm out here, little cheap ass trains from here to there. Boom. I'm out there for a decent amount of time. And the whole time I'm like, yo, earlier this year, I had been in between Mexico and Panama for most of the year, actually. Like being in the United States there's like community is difficult. Everything is fucking difficult. We all know. And I just love like leaning into community outside of here for different reasons. But that being said, when I was pondering coming back, I'm like, yo, they are not going to let me in this motherfucker. I was super vocal in Egypt to the point where people were like, yo, you're going to get targeted, which that's a whole nother story. In Egypt, we got like chased out of Egypt by the secret police, which other people were as well. But boom, I got a layover in fucking Warsaw, Poland. It's like early July and it's 50 degrees. I'm like, this is crazy. Okay, boom. I land in EWR and I have a comrade that has my login and information and everything. So if I didn't respond, I messaged them as soon as I was going into customs. And I'm like, if I don't respond in 10 minutes, I've been detained. Because customs never is going to take, like, once you get to the zone, it's never 10 minutes. Yeah. Okay, boom. I get there. I'll just try to run through the story real fast. The person is like, give me 1 second. Bro, I try to sneak the fucking AirPod in. He's like, no AirPod, no phone. Matter of fact, give me your phone. I'm like, hold on. He's like, just come with me. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, random, I forgot what it was. Random something.
Yeah.
Random screening. I'm like, all right, cool. He takes me. Now I got 3 people with me. They take me to this other room down a hallway, the back doors of the airport. I'm in the back way of the airport, and it's like a fucking 1980s police station. Okay. Old leather. It's like not smoky, but it's dingy. Okay, and there's mad Latino police officers. Everyone is like probably Dominican or Puerto Rican. I'm in New Jersey, in customs, border patrol, and it's all basically like ICE agencies. Like it's Homeland Security, it's police, it's border patrol. It's nothing says ICE, but like this is all the umbrella, right? So I'm sitting there for like 30 minutes and I'm like, hey Siri, text. So I was able to like sneak a photo out of my pocket. If you go on my Instagram, it's still up. And I was able to have Siri send a text. They moved me to another room. Then this woman comes in. She's like in complete plain clothes and she's like super energy high. She's talking to me, asking me like random questions. Oh, blah, 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 blah. She's like, can I ask you about your travels? Which is normal. And these questions you actually answer. Where'd you go? They already know where you went. So just go with it. I was blah, 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 blah. Now, the one part where it threw me off, I took a train to Paris. There's no way. There was no passport. There was nothing. And while I was in Paris, I never posted that I was in Paris. She was like, how was Paris? Yeah. And I was like, have you been? She was like, yeah, but you were there, right? Okay. The questions start increasing, asking like what social issues I support, what organizations I'm a part of. It increases. Finally, she's doing the same questions like 10 different ways. Finally, she's like, so how long have you been in Hamas? And I was like, what? She's like, no, how long have you been a part of? So then she asked me about my supposed Hamas membership 30 times at least. So I'm in there for like a total of 5.5, 6 hours. They just, after the initial interrogation, they just keep moving me rooms. I got a fucking kafia in my backpack. They're like, what's this? I'm like, oh, it's some friends. But they let me go. There was a whole thing with the phone. I wouldn't give them the phone. They're like, we're going to have to take it. I'm like, you either legally seize this shit or I'm not just giving it to you. So finally they let me go.
Damn.
But yeah, I mean, this is something that billions of people from around the world have been subject to.
Right.
And I'm just experiencing it. Right.
Right.
It's not new. It's not special. It's not anything. It's just settler colonial violence that is done against certain people forever. And it just so happened to happen to me because of standing out, right? So, but
Yep.
this is something that's been happening. Like, I grew up with a Palestinian family on the other side of the
Mm,
hallway from me my entire life.
mm,
And his name is Muhammad. His great grandpa was actually a mayor in Palestine, in the West Bank,
mm.
in Safad in like 1890.
Wow.
But he came back from Qatar. His dad works for Al Jazeera years ago,
Mm,
like he still does. But a couple years ago, he came back from Qatar. They interrogated him for like 8 hours.
mm,
Damn.
Crazy, and it's just normal. It's happened to him his whole life, right? So, boom,
Right.
really happening.
It's right. More and more checkpoints, going up in society.
Mm-hmm.
I was just talking to someone about how, and I'm going to give you a chance, Anthony, too, but I was talking about, people that were in prison, people that are incarcerated. And I think it was Socialism 2024, where there were some folks that were still in prison that were talking to us via Zoom. And then there were some
mm,
people that had just recently been released after being incarcerated for a long time. And the way they were talking about it was like that being incarcerated was like kind of a hyper intense version of like the regular society. Like it was like a
mm,
distilled version, like a microcosm of like the society as a whole. And like all this
mm,
interrogation and surveillance and violence and all the stuff that's happening there, it's not going
mm,
to be contained in there. It's like a reflection of what's going on outside, and it's also going to
mm,
like continue to like come outside, like, and the same thing
Mm-hmm.
with violence that's happening, like, the
Exactly.
US is perpetrating overseas. That violence does not
Exactly.
stay there. It's,
mm,
this violence builds up, and there's this tolerance that builds up, and you're
mm.
creating like, violent racist
Exactly.
people. uh
Literally.
so killers. So people that are trained to kill. But I was going to say, Anthony, you work on a lot of stuff, and of course you're constantly keeping updated on what's going on with the flotilla and the response to this ongoing genocide in Gaza. um like, you're updating. I'm looking at the thing. I'm keeping updated on everything all the time. Obviously we're looking at the flotilla. We're looking at Italy now. We're looking at what's going on with
Mm,
Spain. Like,
mm.
what should people be paying attention to, or what else are we seeing that or what else are you seeing that
Oh my
you think
God.
is
I
something that
think
we need to be
I
what's going to happen? What is going to
I
happen
can't
with
have
Italy and Spain and this flotilla? Like, I don't, this is
I
not
think I think Lavish and I have got to talk about the strike because like first of all I wanted to
Mm.
say that Lavish I feel like I can't be speaking about this because you were fucking there like like
Mm.
and you just have so much more you know um
you.
yeah
Well, what is going to
credibility in that fight but
do you
yeah
know?
no I mean I'm excited by what I'm seeing but I loved what I was referencing I loved your take on the strikes that like it's bullshit that it's taken this fucking long for workers to
Right.
stand up and shut shit
Absolutely.
down and like even the coverage that we're seeing about the flotilla the support from Italy from other places it always erases the organizing that is happening like
Right.
it's not like oh because of pressure from the strike they're sending aid or they're sending these ships to help with the flotilla it's like, oh, the president, out of the kindness of her heart or whatever, fucking did this shit. And so like, yeah, I don't know. I think that like people would appreciate though us digging into that not edgy, but you know what I mean? That aspect of like the reality that people should be taking militant action. Like you're saying, they should be overcome by the emotion. They should be overcome by the reality of what's going on of what Israel's doing, and they should be, putting more on the line. I think that that's very compelling. So that's kind of where my mind goes since I'm in this,
Mm.
space with y'all.
Yeah, I mean, Europe, aligning is a rare instance, right? I mean, any European country, I mean, obviously, other than Ireland and Spain has been like moving the needle on this too. But like Italy joining while simultaneously still funding Israel.
Mm,
So just to highlight that, but not to discredit it because it is
mm,
still important.
mm,
And there's a juxtaposition there, like when people join later, like why did it take these countries 2 years? Why did it take
mm,
a conversation I had with a Palestinian woman about this exact thing was like we were all late at some point. I actually just saw a video in my camera roll in 2017, Bernie's primaries going crazy, or I don't even know exactly what it was. I was a Bernie bro.
Mm. Me
Helped
too.
volunteer on his campaign, right? And I remember it was before AOC was like publicly a demon. And I had this video where I was with a homie and I was like, we were trolling, but still, nonetheless, we said blue wave. Me. I said blue
Mm.
wave, me, right?
Mm.
So it just goes to show, like, yo, we
Mm.
can't hate a motherfucker for joining at this
Mm.
time. We got to meet them where
Mm.
they're at. And then
Mm.
how far revolutionary can we push
Mm.
them?
Mm.
Me, I said blue wave, me,
You. Well,
motherfucking
I
me.
mean, what I'm getting at is like you mentioned, Lavish, and I guess they're still funding the genocide,
Yeah.
but now they're sending military ships alongside the flotilla. Well, that contradiction cannot last forever. So
Yeah,
what does
yeah,
that look like? I mean, it's going to be
Mm.
called into question. Like
Mm.
they're getting close. Like
right.
it's like what is going to happen at that point? Is something going to come to a head? Like,
Mm.
is Spain or Italy going to actually come down on one side of something or another, or are they going to totally flake at the last minute
I
and
mean,
leave us all?
you're Israel in 1 year bombed seven
Right,
countries. In one
right,
day, it bombed five. So like they don't have a problem bombing countries. It's just
Mm.
these white countries, right? So are they going to do it to Italy? Are they going to do it to
Mm.
Spain? I
right.
think when they're at this late stage, they will.
Mm.
Did you see what Kim Jong Un said, bro?
I
Kim
did
Jong
not.
Un said if Israel. Kim Jong Un said if isn't real bombs Greta Thunberg, he's nuking Tel Aviv.
Mm. Oh yeah.
Kim
Oh
Jong Un, bro.
yeah.
Yo, you know about the conspiracy that North Korea is actually a utopian oasis? I don't
No.
believe it, but I've heard
Yeah,
it.
I had heard that.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And then that also kind of speaks. This is like the opposite. This is like contrary to Spain and Italy, where they're doing something good, but then simultaneously
Mm.
funding, right? North Korea treats its citizens horrible, but is willing to stand up for
Mm.
Palestinians. Or people can
Mm.
say the same.
Right.
Oftentimes, that conversation gets brought up around Iran, like, "Yo,
Mm.
Iran is fucking horrible, but they're standing
Mhm.
up for Palestine." How do we look at these countries,
Mm.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Well, exactly. And I think we have to be
Mm.
nuanced and we have to be honest
Mm.
about these things. And you can see, like, well, you mentioned Nepal briefly before, but like with Nepal, you can see that like there's like people like coming down on sides before we even know anything about like what's going on. Like they like see one picture or they watch one video and they're like, okay, this is all the US. They implanted this idea
yeah,
in the minds of 100,000 Nepalese people, and they're controlling them all. And then it's like, no, I'm pretty sure that's not true. And then it's like, all the U.S. has nothing to do with it. They're not influencing it. They have no influence whatsoever. And I'm like, I know they got their hands in everything. They got some. They're doing,
Mhm.
but it's like it's not one or the other. But at the same time, there's obviously serious things that people are
Yeah.
concerned about in Nepal that need to be dealt with.
I mean, it's like just on a massive level of what's happening in the West too.
Right.
Like the want to overthrow their monarchy and establishment and whatever because of this imposed strict ass censorship and shutting down media outlets. Like you see what's about to happen with TikTok, shutting down or
Mhm.
being hypercritical of journalists and shit. The same shit is happening here. It's just
Yeah.
will the Western Americans, will we respond to that level, which I haven't
Mm.
seen since George Floyd. I was there when the buildings were
Mm.
burning down, right? Grew up
Mm.
there. So it's like
Mm.
when does that level of violence get utilized?
Mm.
Right.
Because the same things are happening. It's just like for
Mm.
us to like nationwide ban on social media.
Mm.
YouTube, they banned YouTube, bruh.
Right.
Gen Z was like, nah, y'all not taking YouTube.
Mm.
I was using
Y'all
it.
not taking YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. Anthony, you got any other thoughts?
Well, I applaud the candor because I feel like these platforms that we're usually, swimming in are just so good at um, feeding the conflict and that like compartmentalization or whatever that idea that like we can just reduce everything to like a soundbite or whatever and like not using that as an excuse at all, like like liberals or conservatives will be like, oh, there's no discourse anymore, everything's so polarized. But it's like, no, just like being able to have a real ass conversation. And that's why I fucking loved you sharing how you felt, Lavish, about the strike. It was fucking refreshing because I was like, oh yeah, it is
Uh,
fucking disgusting that
Right.
it took this long, that they're not, that they weren't doing it before, and they were doing more than a lot of Americans, obviously, in terms
Exactly.
of
yeah.
like they had been doing some strikes in Italy and elsewhere,
Uh,
and like but like yeah, I just think that like conflict on the left is such an interesting thing, and like it has everything to do with how we started in terms of like our own health and our own like coping with racial capitalism and just the way that things are structured. And so like yeah, I don't know, I just appreciate being able to like push the envelope in that way together, and like
hmm
have rigorous, like I look forward to more of that because I'm just so
Right.
sick
Yeah.
of like the double tap follow whatever stuff.
Yeah,
I want to
bro.
have like meaningful fucking dialogue with folks like you that I admire and that that we're aligned on so much. So I
I
don't know.
think
That's where
like
my mind goes.
the perfect way to like see this is like social media or what we see is not the work. I used to hate like the talking head Instagram shits, like which my
Right.
page
Mm,
is a lot of times
Right.
because I'm like, bro, you're not actually doing anything. You're just not you, but just
Right.
anybody. And this
Well,
is more how I felt in like 2021, 22, when this kind of
mm,
emerged as a mainstream thing. It was like
mm,
2022, still when TikTok was just crazy.
mm,
Where it would be people talking about what's happening, not doing shit about what's happening. And I
mm,
remember when I first started seeing a lot of it, I was like, bro, I don't even want to use Instagram for this or TikTok. I
mm,
want to use it to document what we're doing. So a
mm.
perfect instance is like recently, my friend, comrade Tariq Raouf, he's Ghazawi. His dad was born in Gaza. He
Yeah.
is the creator of Apple is Against Apartheid, and he
Hmm.
organized this massive, basically barbecue at Apple stores around the world. I think there was 13
Hmm.
Apple stores. There was like Sydney, Australia, or Melbourne. There was London. There was Paris, New York, Seattle,
Mm,
Chicago, and he Old Pink was a part of it as well.
mm,
But he had a video of him like getting arrested. Like
hmm,
this is like what I love to see. It shows
mm,
us fighting. It shows us winning, not just talking
mm,
about the goddamn thing,
mm,
right?
right.
And I
mm,
think there's space for both. But like we live in like this cushy world, like
mm.
soft world in the West, where we're not,
Yep.
where it's so hyper individualist that we're not willing to risk our own shit. Like
Mm,
every activist needs to go to jail, bro. You gotta
mm,
go to jail because
mm,
once you go to jail, once you like, oh, this is not this is it. I don't want to say this is it because it is completely different, and the level of violence that can be ensued upon you is way higher once you go.
mm,
But like it normalizes getting in trouble. Go to fucking jail. That's
mm,
my do some shit that's gonna make you go to jail. Like Captain Josie, she just went to jail like back to back over
mhm,
protesting. Same with Anthony, what's his name? He was part of the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation and then he quit after he was there for 3 days. Anthony Aguilar.
Oh yeah.
mm.
He just
Yeah.
got arrested too, standing up in the middle of I don't think he interrupted Trump, but it was some White House shit.
Right.
Wow. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just trying to like highlight
No, fucking yeah. Say it.
like what the work looks like. It's like risking
Mm,
ourselves,
that's right.
tightening, escalating
Yep.
at our own expense, other than
Mm,
just getting banned off social
mm.
media.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
And
right.
obviously
Yeah.
the Samud flotilla is like a prime example of that right now.
Mm, mm,
Um, to the point where they're risking their lives, right?
mm,
Same
mm,
with initially when I went on the Global March to Gaza, I thought for sure I was going to be in an Egyptian prison for 2 years without due
mm,
process. I'm like, this is just what's
Mm,
going to happen. And
mm,
I thought at least 500 people were going to die because if we
mm,
really made it into the Sinai, bro, come on, stop it. It's
mm,
impossible, basically.
mm,
mm,
So I mean, like, it shouldn't have to take something catastrophic for us to risk ourselves.
right.
that's right.
What does that look like? How do we do it? I mean, it looks like a lot of things, and you can do it however you want, but like, just go. There's no
Yeah.
rules to the shit.
But the more of us that do it, the more success we're gonna have, right? So
100%.
we gotta get together, right? So
Europe knows that shit, bro.
right.
Europe, they
Yep.
have like not
That's right.
activists, but activists.
Right.
Like people that go into the
Yeah.
Lockheed Martin building and shit.
That's right. Every
Yep.
fucking week. Yep.
Yeah, bro.
That's right.
Yep. They're way more activated over there. Yeah, for sure.
But again, no shade to anybody
But
that's
it's
not
right.
at
Yeah.
that level.
That's the collective thing though too, Lavish, like you've been
Right.
saying. Like that's the non-individualistic, because I was just gonna say, I'm
Right.
like, yeah, fucking go do that, get arrested. But it's like, have a plan,
Right.
have people that are like, around you, like do it in some kind of coordination so that it can be more effective, and so that you can get the fuck out and then go back out and do more shit. But yeah, take those fucking risks. I 100% agree. Yeah, we need more sacrifice. We need more yeah, but it's got to be like collective, kind of shit, because otherwise they can
Exactly. One at a time, you're done.
Yeah, exactly. And especially like you're referencing kind of like with Palestine Action and those kind of things, they are great at the organization. Like they have so much fucking structure, and I think that that's a cool ass thing on the left too that doesn't get talked about enough. But it's like, because there's problems, right? DSA, PSL, like, there's problems, but it's like we need more of infrastructure, because like the reality is the fucking cops, the military, all these things, they have so many fucking systems that sustain them. Like the capitalists, they have so many like, ways of like conflict resolution, of benefits, living wages. They have like, all this fucking institutional power that supports that kind of like that they're doing all the fucking time in the wrong direction. And it's like
Exactly.
we need to be building that shit like as what with the same intensity that we're getting arrested. We also need to be doing the behind the scenes shit like that on that level, because it's like we have to, yeah, we can't be just these like flash in the pan, we can't just
Yeah.
keep getting crippled by this like COINTELPRO or whatever kind of crap.
Yeah.
We have to like have stronger, movements. That's why I love like Butch Ware so much, and just
Yeah.
anybody who's like, how do we bridge, more and then build more structurally at the same time as we're, leaning into the direct action. Because like you said about Tarek, like they've been building that movement he's been for a long time. And then like, the actions have grown, the movement has grown globally. And I'm grateful to be in community with a lot of those folks. So like, it's
and that ability speaks to the point of like organization versus mobilization. Mobilization is like, boom, we did this thing today, but what about ongoing?
Exactly.
Kwame Ture has amazing quote about that. I think he was speaking at Berkeley and he was bringing up the difference in the outcome. But a legendary anti-colonial revolutionary, I think I'm about to say his name wrong, Amilcar Cabral. He's from Guinea-Bissau, but he said the people have the capacity to make history, but it's their duty to take the risks for freedom. Something that I think just is like innately within myself. My grandpa, my mom's dad, was a Black Panther in Oakland and San Francisco. He was actually a part of SNCC before he was even a Black Panther. So like one of the originals. That being said, he died when he was in 2001. He was like just over 50 years old. And he died from what they said was schizophrenia. To me, that's just part of it almost. It's like inherently there. My grandma wrote for the Black Panther newspaper in Oakland. I'm forgetting the name of it. The Fire, as a white woman, right? And she's fucking crazy, but she's still revolutionary and here with us. But I think when we see the impact from fighting this colonial system and it's normalized, we're just like, oh, this is what's going to happen in fighting. We're not going to live this mundane white picket fence fucking life. There's going to be impact and trauma, and it already exists. It's already here. It's in us generationally. My dad, fully Irish.
Right.
Longest colonized people, right? Or country. So it's like that trauma is already within us, epigenetics. It's already impacting our DNA, which you can speak to like right now, a prime example, and moving forward, what this will look like, level 5 catastrophic stage 5 famine in Gaza. That is literally impacting the DNA of children's children up to 7 generations. And that's just this one now, right? So it's like, it's going to impact us. I don't even know how I was trying to connect it, but I guess just normalizing that there's going to be like some, you know what I mean? give and take. Like it's going to impact you.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I
But
mean, no, go ahead. I was just gonna say what you were saying about you know, like you need to be doing this, but if you're doing this, well, yeah, that's good. Keep doing that or whatever. But you know, like there's
Yeah.
different tactics that people are using, and like I don't get like some people spend so much time like calling out other people's tactics.
Yeah.
Like that's like their whole strategy, or they're like, and I'm like, we like everything that's happening now, we need to be doing that, and then like
Some more shit.
way more than that. So it's like
think
I
it's
don't
'cause
think
it's
we need to
comfortable,
spend so
bro.
much time like
Yeah.
pulling down other people's like stuff.
Yeah.
I think because it's comfortable and it's social media driven.
Right.
Yep.
You
No,
can
yeah,
get
yeah.
views. You can fill
Yeah,
the space
that's
of
it.
meeting.
Yep.
You can
Rage
instead
bait.
of meeting the needs, like the energy, the
Right.
exchange of getting needs met can be filled by a different energy. And
Right.
social
Yep.
media is a crazy dopamine, bro. I didn't have my phone for 5 hours yesterday because the screen cracked. Apple Care, unfortunately, boom. It was free though, somehow magically.
Yeah.
6 years ago, I used to work for Apple. I've never seen somebody get their screen fixed for free. But point is, I
Mhm.
did. In those 6 hours, I'm like, what the fuck? No phone. I'm able to feel and process and connect. And I'm like literally withdrawing from the goddamn phone, bro. It's crazy. So imagine you go crank 700,000 views.
Right.
And you know you can get these views just by talking shit or whatever it is.
Yep.
As opposed to I'm going to go organize and meet and do and buy, and it's going to take 2 years, like you said, to Tadic.
Right.
Yep.
People are going to go with the easy, instant gratification, which is not our own doing. It's not our fault.
Yep.
And you also like the other thing, sometimes you don't even see like the stuff that you do. Like you don't see the like result of all the stuff that you do.
That's a good point.
I'm reading Anna Louise Strong's book. She was a journalist. She was there for the Seattle General Strike in 1919. She was the first American journalist to publish in an American magazine an interview with Stalin. The first to publish an interview with Mao. Interview with Mao. And she was just talking about like there was a bunch of stuff she was trying to get going in Russia when she first was there, but she really didn't know what the heck she was doing from the perspective of not understanding like the Russian people or the Russian institutions. Right. But anyway, like, so she was just like banging her head against the wall for like a year. And like what she wanted, this like American Russian like club where like they could help integrate Americans that came to Russia or bring in like flows of money. Like eventually it came together, but like it wasn't the way that she like put it together exactly. But eventually something very similar to what she did, like within a couple of years, like existed. So like that's also important to realize that you can do a lot of work on something and it seems like there's not anything there at the end. But then really you have set up a lot of what needs to happen for the next, when things kind of like catch fire again, let's say that you have like set some groundwork for that. So it's important not to forget that, you know.
To quote another revolutionary, Che Guevara said, the revolution is not an apple that falls from the tree when it's ripe. You have to make it fall.
Exactly.
And oftentimes you don't see the work in that you only see it falling. You didn't see it grow ripe from our work, right?
Right.
So, like, what does that look like? I don't think it looks like social media. Social media now, the algorithm, we don't even know about the algorithm.
Right.
When I got my page deleted 4 times in like a week, I was communicating with someone at some company, and they were letting me know there's only literally like 2 people at all of said company that completely understand the algorithm. There's people that understand aspects of it, like content moderation or this, that, but only like 2 people get the whole fucking thing. They're on like wizard levels, right? That being said, it's so polarizing. We're living in 2 different internets. Again, to say internet.
Or more than.
Yeah, more. It's
you know, like a multiverse
fucking,
of internet.
Literally, bro. Like there's people not seeing anything we're seeing.
Right.
It's not even in their world, bro. Like, how is that real? But I think that is the minority. The vast majority of us know what the fuck is going on.
I hope so. Or at least a significant minority.
Even if they deny it. Even if they deny it, they know.
Right. Yep. I think that's a good encasement of that. But I wanted to touch on another thing, Lavish. Your most recent video I was watching reminded me of something. It was really funny because my wife and I were literally just watching a movie. I was like a day ago or 2 days ago. And at the end on the credits, it said impact producer, blah, 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 blah. And we were like, huh, what is an impact producer? Like we were like kind of going back and forth. And then I pulled up your video just before this and I was like, oh, okay, he's an impact producer. And I was like, oh, okay, now he's going to tell me what it is. So that was my question is tell me what an impact producer is, and then tell me about this Traces of Home
Yeah.
that's going on.
So being an impact producer is something that I'm new to as a word. But I've done it before for myself when I ran for Minneapolis City Council, when I went on this 731-mile walk from where George Floyd was killed to where Breonna Taylor was killed, called The Journey to Justice. But it's not about the documentary in this case, which is Traces of Home. It's not focused on the filmmaking itself. Right. It's focused on like the real world change that the film can inspire and how to design and lead, making sure that the film reaches the audience and connects with activists, educators, communities. So it looks like partnering with organizations and creating materials and social media campaigns, measuring the engagement and like the outcome. Maybe that's policy change if your goal was that. Maybe it's awareness if it was around something else. But really, you just want to turn it's art as a form of revolution, right? So how do we turn this into a tool for not just social and political change, while it's entertaining, but also bridging the film and the audience together to create action and impact around the whole thing. The documentary is called Traces of Home. It's about a woman named Colette, whose mom is from Mexico City and her dad is from Palestine, West Bank. Her dad is 84, I think, old enough to where when he was a child, he had to flee because of Nakba. So she goes to Mexico City to visit the house that her mom grew up in as a child, but had to flee to the United States because of abuse she was facing, and was like adopted in Tijuana, had to cross the border, blah, 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 blah. And it also talks about her dad and how he had to flee Palestine and how they came together and just retracing her family's trauma through their traces of home. It's pretty dope. I'm honored to be in the position. There's some amazing producers. Dan Rybicki, Sada, I don't know her last name, Dina Takuri. These are like amazing producers, and Keith, super dope people on there. And I'm just honored to be a part of it. But I'm looking forward to it, man. I can't say where it's premiering or when, but I can soon. But it's amazing.
Well, you've already gotten started on the process of letting people know so they can start getting acquainted with the idea and getting ready for the premiere and to be able to see the film.
If you think about like a big ass film, like let's say like, okay, Brad Pitt and Joaquin Phoenix? They don't need an impact producer. It's fucking Brad Pitt, right? But maybe they're impact producers just by existing. Like, you know what I mean? Martin Scorsese, does he need a fucking impact producer? No. But maybe they do have those. So my point is, though, it's kind of a newer thing where you're not normally a producer comes in with like money or connections,
right?
Like imagine Tom Cruise, he produces Mission Impossible. It's Tom Cruise, like what, right? So, but it brought up a thought in my mind and my identity for a long time internally, especially since after 2020 when George Floyd was taken. I struggled in 2021 to not always go to a movement. I need to go to a protest. I need to go to a thing. I need to go. And it's like, bro, we don't want to be going to these things. Right. So my identity was like so tied to activism that I was like nothing outside of that. So when I wasn't an activist, I was struggling with like, yo, I went to school for poetry. I'm a fucking poet. I've always wanted to publish books. I love this shit. I'm an outdoors person. I can light a fire with sticks and climb trees and shit. I love this. But all of that is to the side. Now, if that's for me, imagine what the survival is like for people in Sudan, Congo, Gaza, Palestine in general, also Syria, also Yemen, right? This is what we like. There's this woman that I just followed. I'm forgetting her name, but somehow Palestinian people have like the most dignity of anyone I've ever seen in my life. Somehow she's able to do her makeup and wear beautiful clothing on Instagram. And I'm like, how is she doing this in Gaza right now? How is she doing it? Like, I want to slide out and find her name, bro. But the impact producer piece made me think like, yo, there's art that we want to be doing and beautiful expressions of love that we want to be doing. But in this space, oftentimes we don't. How can we still be our authentic, expressive, beautiful, creative selves in a revolutionary space and have our art be a form of resistance. So
That part. Yep.
that's kind of what I love most about this impact producer position and this film space in general. So I mean, but it just really puts into perspective, like what are people in these aforementioned countries, how are they experiencing it, right? My fucking
Right.
life's not at risk.
Right. No, it's true. That's and I think, and I think people in Gaza would tell you that, if you have a really great ability at poetry, or you have a really great ability at cooking, like you have like a
Right.
responsibility to
Right.
contribute that in some sense to like what's going on. So like you should also like, and I'm thinking of that more as like a way to reframe it, like so maybe you don't feel guilty or something, is like that's
True.
something you need to do. Like if you have an ability, especially like if you have ability that people have recognized, like this is something you can do, then you need to be doing that for the movement. I mean, obviously
Facts.
you're gonna have to do some like, I don't know, for lack of a better term, grunt work or something too. But like you're gonna
Yeah.
like you also need to be doing like some of that stuff that you're passionate about, that you're good at, to like contribute that. So we need to be giving all of ourselves and into that. And that's really part of like creating the movements that keep people in them instead of the kind of
Sustainable.
like sustainable. There you go. That's the word. That's a wonderful word,
And
isn't it?
attractive, because people want to
Attractive.
be part of movements that are dynamic and that are welcoming. Like I always see on like at actions or whatever, if there's like music or there's food, or like you were talking about the French before, like they fucking, they got the moving grills while they're shutting
Yeah.
the whole city down, and it's just like what, like but that shit matters too, because it's like we take ourselves so fucking seriously, and it's
Mm.
like yeah, how do we just keep going, like you're saying, take the risk, be bold, but do it in a way that's like attractive to folks and fulfilling for ourselves. Yeah.
That
Well,
is that is that is that is it. And I guess that really does align with not just going on social media and like
Mm,
perpetuating this violence by
mm,
reposting it nonstop instead of showing
mm,
victories.
mm. Oh yeah, somebody said that about Palestine that I fucking loved. They were like, if you're only ever showing the suffering of Palestinians, then you're a Zionist account or whatever. I was like, oh my God, I love that. Like if you're never showing resistance, if you're never,
right.
highlighting the
Yep.
joy and the beauty that
Yep.
people are able to experience, like you just described in that woman,
Mm.
then you are contributing to the Zionist, sort of narrative. And yeah.
Well, yeah, you're
Hmm.
taking away people's agency, like to be people and to resist and to do beautiful things in the midst of like chaos and destruction. And well, I just wanted to see if like we were talking about the wins and stuff, if we had any like things that we could think of. I had something that came to mind for me here in Minneapolis. We had the Teamsters at the U of M that had gone on strike for the first time in ever, as far I think is what I
Wow.
was told, well, at least in 30 years, and 1,400 Teamsters at
Wow.
all the campuses here, and they won. According to what I've heard, they won like basically exactly what they were asking for, which was basically the same raises that all the other workers in the U of M were getting. And they didn't all, not all 1,400 of them got arrested, or they weren't on strike for like a year or anything like that. Like they were strategic, right? Like the thing that really pulled it through is like Willie Nelson threatened to cancel Farm Aid
Bro.
at the U of M, and like they're like, oh, just kidding, we'll give you the money. So it's like,
Bro.
if you can do something and just get it taken care of, like, and like achieve your goals, that's wonderful to do. You don't have to like like you said, you don't have to like get into the whole like protest thing, and we have to have a protest every day, like on and on and on.
Literally.
But also, I
That's a
also
perfect way
personally
of
think,
your art.
yeah.
Perfect way of your art being, sorry, just got to call it. That's like the perfect way of your art being revolutionary expression. Like,
Yep.
how long were we boycotting Disney, and how many
Yeah.
people unsubscribed? I don't
Right.
know the numbers, but in one
Mm,
day,
It
Jimmy
was a
Kimmel,
lot.
4 million.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this is the Instagram. Her name is Ghazal Abu Dalal. And I'm just going to flip my camera real quick and
Yeah.
share her Instagram just so you can see it.
Say something again.
Ghazal Abu Dalal.
Mm.
Boom. So just wanted to share her Instagram. But yeah,
Thank
bro,
you.
did you go to the concert?
Did I?
Yeah.
No, I did not. Unfortunately I was not able to. I was out bringing people water and stuff for other
That
things during the thing. I mean, I wasn't sure how long it was going. I thought it was going to go on a little bit longer, to be honest. So I was impressed. I was a little
yeah,
concerned when it ended because I was like, did they actually get what they wanted? But then when I saw that it was like they're saying, okay, yeah, we got basically what we wanted, I was like, okay, good. I was a little afraid, like, but
bro,
it sounds like if I was out at that concert, I wouldn't have been, because it sounds like it was like off the
bruh.
hook.
I heard there was like mad Trumpers there and shit. Willie
Uh,
Nelson.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm like, yo, who was it? It was Bob Dylan, Willie Nelson, and Eric Clapton.
Yep.
Bro, Bob Dylan is Megatron revolutionary in the 60s.
Yeah.
These stupid ass Trumpers, what do they think?
I don't know what
Bob
he.
yeah.
Dylan, Bob Dylan even said like he could never redo those songs. It was like something just the highest consciousness was just used as him through him, and he doesn't even know how he came up with the lyrics or the energy. But what the fuck did they think? Come on. So I mean, shout out to them.
Yeah.
They had
Oh,
to
yeah.
use some of the most legendary people. But that like coalition of people in one space, bro, you got Jimi Hendrix in the building, Prince is in the building. That's a damn cosmic vortex. So shout out to Teamsters.
It's amazing.
Hell yeah.
Well, yeah. Any other wins or any other final thoughts? Anything else anybody wants to share before they go?
Y'all got anything? I'm just staying steady.
Nah, I mean, this is the fucking win. I'm so fucking like
Italy,
elated and yeah, grateful.
the Italian strike, that was a big one, obviously.
Yeah,
Bro.
yeah, man.
I mean, the fact that Spain even felt the pressure to like send something.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's what it was. It was the
off of
Italian
last
strike,
week's.
right?
Yeah, and then off of last week's, they canceled the $700 million arms contract. Yeah,
Yeah, it's crumbling.
Yeah.
Yep.
Crumbling, but while it's crumbling, it's gonna get more violent.
I know
Yep.
that's the part that's unbearable. Inevitable and
Yep.
unbearable, but we bear it somehow.
It's either massive or like death by a million paper cuts and shit.
Basically. Well, I appreciate y'all, and we're gonna get out there, all three of us, and do a lot of good work here. And
Man.
I will let y'all know when this is out. And thanks so much for
Hallelujah.
your time.
Let's
Awesome.
let the spirit
Yeah.
of Nat Turner and Toussaint Louverture channel through us. Let's get it.
Solidarity,
love.
y'all. Take
Hell
care.
yeah.
Blessings, y'all. Yeah.
Peace.
Love y'all.
And that is our special interview. Thanks for listening. Solidarity.
This has been a Socialist News and Views special interview.